ready to strap in? It's going to be a heck of a ride. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Never a dull moment, but yes, you'll hear the stories you won't hear anywhere else, and we appreciate you being here with us for them today. I'm Justin Barclay. Welcome in, folks. It's going to be a fantastic day today. Lots to cover. And, man, oh, man. Hey, the camera's off again. What happened to the camera? It was working fine. All right, listen. And we must be really deep down in the bunker today if this is the case. The camera's not showing. Hang on, we're going to get the camera fixed. In the meantime, we'll say thanks to the folks who make the show possible each and every day. A fantastic show yesterday with our good friend Maha Missy. Healthwithjustin.com. We talked about the latest in the big news, the stories that are out there. The ones you won't hear anywhere else. And this was, like I said, this was a big one. Latest on the parasite that they're having issues with. Now I think I said something about salmonella. I'll have to dig in on this one today. Another thing you have to worry about when you're out there eating, I guess, is we got that story. The Maha Movement, you can join us, healthwithjustin.com, or go call 269-964-4044. And mypillow.com/Justin. Mike Lindell stepping down as CEO. Focusing on that run for governor in Minnesota. Help support Mike and the program at the same time. Get great products and great deals. That's even better, right? When you go to mypillow.com/Justin, use promo code Justin while you're inside and get geared up. All right, so like I said, lots coming up yet today. We'll get into the biggest stories, the one you won't hear anywhere else. Our good friend Kyle Olson joins us from the Midwestern, coming up in just moments. But first, the stories that matter most. You won't be talking about these around the water cooler, the dinner table, no matter where you are. Powered by our good friends at Heartland Home Mortgage. Dave Galloway and the team ready to help you. Whether you want to buy, refi, home equity, line of credit, they can do it all. And they quite often do. We'll get those folks that call us and say, you know, they were faster, they were better than the big banks. That's Dave. That's the team at Heartland Home Mortgage. They'll even come to your house and finalize it. In fact, they did that for us. It was so convenient, so nice. Such a change of pace in a day and age where the customer service is lacking in some places, in some areas, isn't it? We could have a deal at any moment.
Fox News alert, a deal to open the strait could come at any second.
They're moving along very nicely. We'll find out. We'll know in 48 hours, brother. They wanted to talk. We've been talking. They want to make a deal. They do not want to be hit.
A U.S. official said that Iran, Oman, and America could announce a deal as early as tonight. The clock's ticking. According to the source, the deal is a 60-day arrangement to open Hormuz. Ships sail in through Iranian waters and out through Omani waters. Mines still choke the middle of the strait, so they'll have to demine in about 30 days. No tolls for the time being. Trump doesn't love the idea of the Iranians shaking down ships for safe passage, but it's not a new idea. The Turks toll their straits, and in Asia, ships pay a fee in the Strait of Malacca.
I don't like it. I don't like that part of the deal at all. I think that has to be reworked. We cannot do this. This is going to be bad precedent. But we may get out of it when we get around it. We may not even have a deal at all. I don't know. I mean, we keep hearing back and forth on this. What really ends up happening, only time will tell. Another big story that you're not hearing anywhere else today, the FBI opening secret criminal investigations into President Trump after he fired James Comey. Back in 2017, newly declassified memos show that days after Trump fired Comey, the Bureau secretly opened a criminal and counterintelligence probe, codenamed Oxford, into whether Trump was acting as a Russian asset or not. And that investigation provided the basis for Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein to appoint special counsel Robert Mueller. They all ought to be, listen, all of these folks ought to be charged. This is all of it. Treasonous. The fact that they were investigating a sitting president at the time, and they knew. They just wanted to get him. They couldn't fathom that he was about to get them. Speaking of getting them, today on Capitol Hill in the hearings, Tony Fauci, in a contempt vote that's set to take place in the Senate, we'll hear more. The Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee voting on whether or not to hold Fauci in contempt of court. And of course, or contempt of Congress rather. But of course, look, this guy, contempt is just a start. And I know everyone else watching, you probably feel the same way. What he put us through those years is absolutely unthinkable. And the deaths, how many people dead because not just inconvenience, but businesses died as well. And livelihoods, the suicides, all the crazy things that we've gone through here, folks. There needs to be accountability, and we need it post-haste. Speaking of post-haste, I'm going to get right to him. He's online right now with us from the Midwestern, the Midwesterner.news. Kyle Olson, and what is shaking up to be one of the most interesting weeks in politics in Michigan I've ever experienced. I can tell you that much. Kyle on us with us right now on the line. Kyle, good morning. How are you? Welcome in.
Good morning. I'm doing well. I heard what you said about the Strait of Hormuz there, and you're concerned about it. And my thought was, it's like the Michigan weather. Just wait a little while.
Exactly.
And it's going to be totally different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wait a few minutes, and it's a back and forth. And, that's the funny thing about that story, too. It really... It's always developing. There's always something new, and I do think we're going to eventually get that all worked out. It's just how soon it happens for folks is the bigger issue. Now back here in Michigan, where the gas prices are about the same as the weather, they're up and down each day. We don't know why exactly. Yep. We had massive movement as well in this primary. Some things were expected, some maybe not as expected. What did you make of the Michigan and the primary and the results that came Tuesday night?
I think it was sort of as predicted. So it was not. There were not a lot of shockers, at least on the statewide level. And so, John James is the Republican nominee. He's now in a situation where he's got to raise a lot of money, and he's got to get his message out about why, his vision for Michigan is different than Jocelyn Benson's. She was with Gretchen Whitmer yesterday. They are closing ranks. I saw that outside groups are already planning to spend tens of millions of dollars. And so and I saw this in 2022. This is very similar to what happened in 2022, where the Republican nominee comes out needing to raise money, and while there's just an avalanche of Democrat spending, and so it's not going to be an easy race. And I think we all think that Jocelyn Benson, she has a record she doesn't want to talk about, which is why she's talking about other things.
Yeah.
She is, I think a lot of people have concerns about her, and she's not exactly a personable person. So, there are opportunities, but it is not going to be easy.
Yeah, and I just wonder how much, especially in this race, and this could be good or bad, but how much will this race be affected or impacted by that race for Senate? We got all of this money pouring in. It's such a massive race, not only because obviously we got a chance to put a Republican back in the Senate for the first time since like the 90s here in Michigan,
yeah.
but also the national implications, the implications for the Democrat Party and our country and beyond with Abdul Rahman. I don't know if I said the name right. I'll have to ask him. Otherwise, I know he wants me to
keep it out of your mouth.
Keep it up. So, the funny thing is, you came to this country. You expect us to know exactly how to say your name? How arrogant and how egotistical is that? You should just be glad that we allow you here. You came to this country and we all have to assimilate? No, you've got it backwards. Sorry, I had to get that out. It's been a long week. It's just so hilarious to me. The humor, the way these people think, and please keep saying stuff like this, because as I said, and I'll play this clip later. I was on Newsmax 2 last night with Ed Henry. Good guy, great conversation, and he was asking about that specifically. But I say, please keep talking like this. Absolutely, we love to hear this in the general here, because it keeps furthering the divide and showing us exactly what the difference is between common sense and crazy that'll be on the ballot in November. But this to me, this is a campaign, and I'll try and right the ship, get back here on the straight. I hit a landmine. Or a mine in the straight. I paused. Let me get it back on track. This is going to draw a lot of attention, a lot of money into this race.
Yeah, the fundamental differences in these races, aside from the issues and the obvious things, is that nationally people care about who the Michigan senator is, because it affects the majority, which then means, things get done or don't get done in the U.S. Senate. There's a different metric for who the governor of Michigan is. And so I'm thinking what is going to happen is there's going to be tens and tens and tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars pouring in to attack and support Mike Rogers and attack and support Abdul. And so that is going to be, it's not technically the top of the ticket, but that's going to be the major focus. And then you add in, Abdul's background and, all of that. And it's going to make it the race in the state. And then, so your point about, is it possible, at least this is the way I interpreted what you said, is it possible that the Senate race is going to sort of drag along the governor's race? That's possible. But at the same time, like I said earlier, the Democrats are going to be spending tens of millions of dollars on behalf of Jocelyn Benson. That's going to start very soon, if it hasn't started already, because their goal is going to be to define who John James is, what he stands for, et cetera. But when it comes to the Senate race, there is going to be so much money coming in. And we didn't, when it comes to Abdul's background and his associations, there was a story, I think it was on Fox News yesterday, about he's raised over $100,000 for people associated with CARE.
That's right.
And so, and we didn't see those sorts of criticisms during the primary from Haley Stevens herself or her campaign or outside groups. They chose to focus on other things. So there's going to be a new level of education when it comes to Abdul and what he stands for and who he stands with. And it's going to be a different kind of campaign, but it's definitely going to be one of the top campaigns in the country, top races, if not the top race.
Yeah, it seems like we're headed in that direction, and if not already there, it's a big one. And I know folks they've got their eyes on this. It's interesting. I wanted to point this out too. I know you probably saw some of this. Kyle Olson, the Midwesterner.news. He wasn't the only socialist candidate who won in Michigan on Tuesday. There was another. You've got this story. DSA candidate Will Lawrence wins Dem nomination in Battleground MI7. That's the race against Tom Barrett. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
All right. So break this one down for us.
Yeah. So Will Lawrence, he, for those who follow the left, he was involved in Indivisible. There was a group called the Sunrise Movement. If you go back to when AOC was first elected, remember when they did a Sunrise Movement did a sit-in at Nancy Pelosi's office, which really sort of set the tone for their relationship. And so that's where he comes from. And he sort of skated through the middle, but that's not really right. What happened was Bridget Brink and Matt Masdam were two other candidates, and they were focused on attacking each other. And William Lawrence just sort of skated through the middle. And so now you've got one of the top battleground races in the country, and you've got a DSA candidate. And it was interesting. We're going to have a story about this today. He was on CNN yesterday and was asked, he really actually was, for CNN, he was sort of getting grilled. It was kind of surprising. But he was asked about his DSA membership. And because he said he's no longer affiliated with DSA. And he was asked, well, when did you stop being a member? And he said, I let my membership lapse last month. And he was asked, well, was it because of general election? And he, was evasive about that. Obviously, Democrats realize the DSA in at least some parts of the state or some parts of the country is toxic. And it certainly is toxic in the 7th district, where it is just, on a razor's edge. So it's going to be interesting to see how that race goes. But there's others, you've got Hillary Scholten, and that one is interesting because she really went out on a limb for Haley Stevens and was openly critical of Abdul. And then Abdul turns around and wins Kent County by a lot. And so Hillary Scholten has got a problem with the left. And it's going to be interesting to see how she handles that. And will progressives stay home and not help Hillary Scholten? That's
a fascinating story. I also see that was it Beagles with him too? He tortured a bunch of puppies too. Sri Tanadar. He also lost his
absurd 4,388 constituents solve their problems. Yeah. That's what people want.
You have an ad running that says you wrote legislation to abolish ICE, to impeach Donald Trump, but neither of those things ever happened. Critics, including some Democrats, have said you're more about getting headlines than results. Is that fair?
Well, it's probably what happened on Tuesday. They thought the guy was a clown and booted him out, or is there something else happening behind the scenes? So was his candidate or his opponent one of these DSA guys too?
Yes, his opponent was Donovan McKinney, who is in DSA. I think that there were some race issues going on as well. He was Sri was representing Detroit, where
race as in racial. You mean
race is in racial?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And so there, were some unspoken issues going on in that race. And so Donovan
Sri don't speak for me is kind of what you're thinking.
That's what it amounted to.
Yeah.
And so Donovan McKinney won the primary, and he will be the nominee, and it's a safe Democrat seat. So he's effectively going to Congress.
Anything else on the ballot that came out of Tuesday that we should be looking at? Kyle Olson, the Midwesterner.news founder here.
Well, I think back on the west side, Phil Skaggs, who is an obnoxious, horrible person.
Yes.
He's a state representative.
Yeah.
He's gone after us after we photographed him sleeping on the House floor.
Yeah.
He lost his primary, so his career is effectively over.
Sleepy Skaggs.
Which, I think people on both sides of the aisle are happy with that.
Would you say this is a wake-up call for Sleepy Skaggs?
It probably is. Yeah, he's got to. Yes. He's got to drink some coffee.
From what I understand, the guy's from the East Grand Rapids area, and from what I understand, he was a county commissioner. And then he went to serve in Lansing, and he just doesn't have a very good reputation for even the folks that are in his area. And I will say this. Here's another piece, though. I'll give Sleepy Skaggs this. His opponent, much further left than he was too, and she's going to be interesting to watch as well. As we have this rise of this kind of socialist push inside the state right now.
Yes, I think that the left is definitely going left, and it's not a mistake that they focus on these districts where they're safe districts, and they want to push, they want to keep pushing to the left and push those districts and elect candidates that are far left versus people that would work with Republicans, or they would, in their eyes, sort of be squishy. And so we're seeing this polarization go on in the left, and I think it's only going to continue because this is all, in my opinion, this is all a buildup to the presidential election. And because the DSA wants to get to the point where they are fielding a serious presidential candidate. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's AOC, could be somebody else. But that's what this is all about and where they want to get to.
Yeah, and to your point, AOC obviously, I think she would be the clear pick at this point. But please, I just say Operation Let Her Talk. Let her get it out too. But the other one that's I've heard, now he'd have to make it through this general, but I've heard people talk about Abdul, keep your name out my mouth as well. Which I know that's look, folks. I know this sounds kind of like fantasy, but at the same time, it's not unheard of. We have another candidate, the very same thing, and they're Barack Hussein Obama. They're calling this guy Abdul would be the first Muslim senator. I said no. I think the best way to pull it here is Kyle. He'd be the first openly Muslim senator. So
right.
We have precedent for this. Don't say that it couldn't happen. There is a lot at stake and a lot on the line right now. We've got to make sure we're clear about this. And to anyone out there who's saying, no, I can't vote for Rogers because of something that happened 20 years ago, or how I feel about this issue or that, or anything, you're saying that you would be fine with a commie jihadi getting elected instead because your refusal to act. The only time that evil thrives is when good men do nothing. And that includes good women as well. If you refuse to act right now to stop evil, that's what we're going to get. We had it last time with Alyssa Slotkin, who's a deep stater. This guy's even worse.
That's what it all comes down to.
Kyle Olson, the Midwesterner, the Midwesterner.news. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna have so much to talk about in the days ahead. I just can't wait. Have a great weekend, my friend.
You too. Thanks.
Kyle on today for a little bit of a programming note, and I'll let you know that tomorrow I'm going to be off. We've got some big things coming in the days ahead in the next weeks. Some of this stuff I've been telling you about. Some of it is you're no stranger to, you've been hearing about, but some of it I still haven't gotten the full details through to you yet. We'll get all that coming up. And I'll share some of it with you, maybe even as soon as this week. But first, let's do another update from Robin at the Midwestern, the Midwesterner.news. Back after this.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Thursday, August 6th. I'm Robin Kaufman. The race for the open Senate seat here in Michigan is on. Republican Mike Rogers gearing up to run against progressive Abdul El-Sayed. The national implications enormous as Rogers looks to flip the seat from Democrat to Republican. But the Democrat Socialists think they have the momentum. Here's New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani weighing in.
To win this race as someone who is not currently holding elected office, it is a testament to what he ran on and also the way he ran the campaign.
Also gearing up for the midterms, John James, who won the Republican nomination for governor. He will be facing Democrat Jocelyn Benson in November. And sleepy Phil Skaggs loses the Democrat primary for State Senate District 29. The embarrassing defeat followed less than flattering pictures of him at the Capitol during budget negotiations in July when he was caught napping at his desk. For these stories and more, visit the Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
All right, folks. Quick joke. I got to reset the camera. If you haven't already done so yet, make sure you're sharing is caring. Get the word about these stories out and that folks need to hear and more. JustinBarkley.com/store. Going to give you a shot to win something inside the store if you share today, a tee, a hoodie, a mug, or more. JustinBarkley.com/store. Back right after this. All right, we're having a hard time getting the camera going this morning. I don't know why, guys, but we may just have to go camera free. I don't know what's going on. It's not recognizing our camera to video input for some reason. So hey, look, I know some of you are thinking like, that's okay. I don't need to see you every day. some of you are probably going to be, oh no, why can't we see Justin? So I apologize, but in the meantime, I guess that's just the way it's going to have to be. Can you hear me still too? Like, is the audio still here? Can you still hear me? A test 1 2 check 1 2 1 2. Hello everyone. In the meantime, let me see what I could pull up here. Let me, that's a shame. I really was hoping that would work to reset it. But unfortunately it is not, and I can't, there's really not much I can do, unfortunately, to fix that right now. I'm gonna have to dig into that. That would be a quick fix there, but it didn't work out. It's moving the camera that causes this, and I'll tell you what this is from. So I've been doing all these TV hits, Newsmax 2 yesterday. I think I've probably done like 4 of them since I started, and we're talking about mainly this race that's been such an issue. It has been probably the biggest national driver. And so when I do it, I kind of reset the studio here. I got to turn in my office kind of give the camera a different viewpoint, and I got to unplug it and plug it back in and all this other stuff. And so when I do that, what happens is there can be a connection issue. I did this morning, and I thought, okay, we got our blue lights on, everything's connected, we should be fine. But at the end of the day, it didn't. I will have to call Trent if I can't get this figured out. You're absolutely right, Jason. Give our friend Trent Kanibi, Affordable Eye Store in Grand River Tech, a shout. So I'll let you see a little bit of the video that's from the. This is from the Newsmax appearance last night. Now here's what happened. Just set it up for you. President Trump is speaking in Las Vegas, and I got those clips coming up here in just a minute. Tammy, see what I just said? I just said there are going to be people who say I miss your face. There are going to be people who say I don't miss it. But there's nothing I can do about it. So we're stuck. But anyway, President Trump just gets done speaking. There's a great moment that I'll share with you in just a little bit, and we would have had more time, but he had a barn burner there in Vegas last night. So this is what we covered afterwards. Hang on, let me make sure you can hear the audio. Where is the audio for this? Is there muted? Oh, it's muted. All right. Here you go. This is Ed Henry last.
Now bringing to the conversation Justin Barclay. He's the host of Torch Radio. He, as I understand it, is a big deal in the Wolverine State there in Michigan.
See, the camera was working last night.
He's going to give us a little briefing on what happened last night, what it means. Justin, first of all, it's good to meet you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ed. Great to be here.
So what happened last night?
I think it was major. It was critical. And just a couple of days ago on this very network, we were talking about this. And I said, I think the biggest election, the biggest race this year may not be in November. It may have taken place last night, actually right here in Michigan. Mm-hmm. So you've got Abdul Rahman Mohammed Al Sayed, who is running. He is a doctor. They call him a paper doctor because he's never really been practicing doctor. But he's a guy who's trained for this his whole life. All of his background, all of the things that he's done. In fact, he ran here as one of these radical types back in 2018 and a failed run for governor. Didn't quite make it. But this time around, something was different. There's a little something different in the air, along with his uniform now. He's got the Zelensky T-shirt. He is, it's not quite a Fetterman hoodie, but he's got a Zelensky T-shirt. And the guy, he's got...
I hadn't heard that. That's funny. The Zelensky T-shirt.
He's got the same uniform. There's a little something different this time around. He's actually a pretty sharp dresser. I interviewed him on the radio back in 2018 when he first ran, and this was somebody people were looking at as an up and comer. And now his time has come, because along with him, this radical push, I call him, this is what I'm going to call him, because I think we need to strip it down to what he is, the commie jihadi. He's got this red-green alliance going for him. He's got the two working together, and unfortunately, I call him commie, but I don't know that a lot of young people even know what that means anymore. Certainly,
I think you're right.
So,
and it's kind of scary. So I want to break that down, because you're making a lot of important points. And one I want to make about the day after here now is that you would think that after being this radical socialist and denying it, as you know, he says, I'm not really DSA. I just want Medicare for all. He's trying to do the non-scary stuff. He still is going after ICE and stuff, but he's not like radical per se out in the open on defunding the police. You had to go find the old radio interviews and stuff. These days, he's trying to put a happy face, I suppose, on social. I'm not saying it's going to work in a general election, but I frame that because you would think today he might say, I'm going to move to the middle. I'm going to moderate a little bit. But instead, in his victory speech, here's what he said. Watch.
I want you to remind them that if we come through this, when we come through this, inshallah, that we'll have taken $70 million on the chin and kept fighting back.
And so, inshallah, God willing, in Arabic. And then you used his real first name, Saad Abdul Rahman. And I guess Mike Rogers, the Republican, who I think is going to win this seat ultimately in November, pronounced it. I guess Abdul Rahman felt like it wasn't pronounced properly, and he said, keep the name out your damn mouth. I guess my final question to you is, instead of coming out and saying, I'm going to move to the middle and win this general election, he's like doubling down on radical and, shut your mouth, and we're going to storm the beaches. Is that going to work in Michigan? You're there.
Oh, please do. If he does, I think Mike Rogers, former congressman, has a great chance of pulling this race off. We need this on a national scale. The Socialists and the Democrat Party are super excited about this because what it means for AOC and the Bernie Bros and all of that. But look, if he talks that way, if he's going to continue that type of language, I think it's going to further show everyone the difference between common sense and crazy. And that's where we are.
Yeah, Mike Rogers has been saying that. The president framed it as it's not the Democrat Party now. It's the Communist Party of America. He teased it there in Vegas, and we're going to see a lot more of it. Real quick, where can people find your stuff?
JustinBarkley.com, and we're launching something really big in the next couple of weeks.
All right, we're going to pay attention. We'll have you back. Justin, thank you. Stay with
a good guy. I really appreciate it. I love talking to Ed. He was a fantastic, great conversation with him. So anyway, like I said, we're going to be doing more of those. And Joy said, it seems like every time you do a news thing. Yes, and I just explained what that is I have to reset. I reset the camera. Maybe I'll stop doing that, but they want a kind of a different shot. The shot that we have in here right now, this what I'm doing, the show is kind of a little more intimate. They really want me like far back away from the camera. They want like a wider view in the background. And I get it. It's kind of a different setup. So I unplugged the camera and then I didn't, that's what I did. Okay. Do you want to try one more time to see if I can reset the camera? We'll try it one more time. I'll play some music while I'm doing this. Let me see if I can reset the camera while I'm gone. But I have to, in order to do this, I have to go out of this refresh this program I'm in and try it again. So let's see if I can get it done. If not, we'll just deal with it today. Not a lot of time left anyway. So stand by. Here we go, folks. Let's just give it a shot. All right. The only thing that I think could be happening, because it's not recognizing my camera at all, I think it's I probably got a wire loose somewhere, like a cable or something. So I apologize to that, but we still have so much to get to. Let me try and get through these clips. It'll be worth it. Trust me. There's some great clips today. So what we were talking about, because right before all of this, right before we go on the air, Trump is wrapping up in Vegas. It actually is supposed to go on earlier, and it's funny because they're like, well, Trump's still on stage right now, and we know we're supposed. What time do we have you till? I said, oh, take plenty of time. I get it. I said, what in the world is this? Oh, that was a microphone. It's just popping up here. And I sent a message. I said, Trump, to somebody who helped set it up, just to let them know that, hey, we're going to be coming on a little later on. And I said, we're getting Trump's right now. He was on stage. And like I said, it was one of these rallies. It was like a barn burner. He's fundraising, but he's also out there talking about no tax on tips and some of the things. In fact, he had one of the families up there that this lady works at one of the casinos, and her husband is I think a police officer in Las Vegas. Anyway, the moment that you're about ready to see was precious. They got a little toddler up there on stage, and Grandpa Trump, like, he just sort of springs into action to save this kid. I don't know if you saw this or not.
Sorry, excuse me. I have a little mom brain going on right now. So
That's funny. This is a close-up shot, but like if you saw the wider view, the kid was about to wander off the stage, it looked like. And the president of the United States goes, "Wait a minute, don't let him get off the stage." What?
Sorry, excuse me.
It's just so funny watching this. He tries to wrangle him back out. All of a sudden, the Secret Service is going to tackle that kid or something. No, that's not what happened. The president brings him out. But what he said was even better. I think they laughed at this moment. They thought it was really cute, but I think they missed what he said. Watch, because he's away from the microphone, but he'll kind of shout it. Listen to what he says. See if you can hear this after he does that.
Little mom brain going on right now. I'm so sorry. No,
He said, I don't want him to be Biden and fall off the stage.
Take off. Thank you, truly. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. It's an honor to be here today.
Now, I want to point out this, too, because I don't know if you could tell, but this dude, I don't know how he's pulling this off, but doesn't he? And please, this is not me kissing up or anything like that. I'm just really floored when I was watching this yesterday. The number one thing that I could tell, doesn't he look like 10 years younger? What happened? And there's something going on with the hair, too. Did he get something done while he was out in L.A. or something? It's just really, it's strange to me.
Thank you so much for all that you've done. Sorry.
Yeah, and he's got a little spark. He got a little spring in the step there, too. I just thought that was something that was really interesting. I don't know. I'm watching that, but he was in rare form. In fact, he comments, and I don't know if you saw this or not, but he commented on Abdul El Sayed here in Michigan. He made a comment for him. I'm going to warn you, there's a little bit of language here, but it'll make sense when you hear it. If you're in a place, maybe you got kids around, or maybe you're in a place where, you don't want this to be broadcast. Well, I just keep that in mind. Here we go. Here's his comment on Abdul.
The communists will take us 100%. When I watch Abdul, he's full of shit.
Oh! How dare you?
So,
but listen, let me ask you: is he wrong? No lies detected there. Is he wrong? All right, folks, what do you think? I'm seeing some comments now in the chat. Let me just get through some of these. Are you seeing the same thing that I am? Doesn't he look 10 years younger? Tammy says, yeah, I noticed that too. Charlene, he sure does, Justin. 80-year-old man chasing a toddler. Love it. Maybe he actually got some sleep. Tammy, that might be it. Because of the time difference and the change where they are, that might be it. Terry said, I wish I had his energy, and he's 6 years older than me. You see, that's what I mean. Mark says, is it a toupee? No, I don't think it's a toupee. Maybe a spa treatment in that set. I do. I think he got a little something done out there. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just a little R&R. But yes, he just looks. He looks. I don't know how this is even possible. But you know what's wild is like all the presidents that go into office, they all age. When you see them like after the first couple of years in their term or whatever, start to get the gray going and all the rest of it, that's not happening here. Katie says getting away from D.C. or the swamp does wonders for a person. You're absolutely right. Bruce thinks it's a stunt double. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. I think that's the guy. I think that's a genuine article right there. Jason says, I think he's wearing makeup. Maybe. The guy, I don't know. The guy is a wonder. And again, I've stood face to face, shook his hands a couple of times, and had several hours of personal, straight up conversation. I say personal, but between me, him, and several other thousands of people listening in. But you know, this looks like the genuine article. I can't say that it was you know, it wasn't him. Anyway, there was more from that, and maybe I'll get some other clips from it coming up here in a little bit. There was more from it. Kyle Olson mentioned something that I think is important to note. There's a new bombshell report. Speaking of Al Sayed, the campaign is reportedly supported by 115,000 terrorism-linked funds. $115,000 in terrorism-linked funds. According to Fox News, the donations come from people who held leadership roles in these alleged terror-linked groups. And nobody's talking about it. Of course, they knew up front. Why didn't Haley Stevens share?
Democrat nomination for Senate, defeating Haley Stevens. It came in at a razor-thin margin. That might have caused some sense of humility for a winner, but not every winner.
As bitter and as divisive and as cynical as the campaign against us might have been, I want us to realize that there is so much more that unites us now. Because the campaign that Mike Rogers and Donald Trump and their GOP MAGA allies are launching is already more bitter. You know, they think that you want to use my whole name against me. Mike, listen, man, if you can't say the name, it's Abdurrahman, keep the name out your damn mouth.
Classy. While that might have been fighting words for Republicans, you heard there at the beginning a call for unity among Democrats. That, though, is not a view that is equally shared by his campaign running buddy, Hassan Piker.
Everyone being like, Abdullah's a ton of work to do mending bridges. Here's the take nuke for you, okay? You are all unbelievably Islamophobic pieces of okay? You literally called the dude a terrorist for months on end.
And is there any truth to any of that? Is he linked to terrorism? Is he sympathetic to 9/11? Is he happy about those things happen? I mean, that's the question. Hassan Piker there certainly is. And don't you think that's important? Don't you want to know somebody that's going to be in charge of classified information at some point? Surely he's going to get put on, because you know this is what they'll do. They get back in power anyway. Democrats going to put him on some sort of panel, some sort of committee, and he'll be in charge and have all that classified. Don't you want that guy going into a skiff and then picking up the phone when he gets out, calling his buddies in the Middle East, telling them what's going on? I mean, you don't think that's going to happen? You don't think that would happen? This is hearing that took place yesterday on Capitol Hill in a Senate hearing where Democrats refused to show up. No, not a single Democrat was present to hear these truth bombs dropped.
Abdul El-Sayed's candidacy for senator in Michigan concern you?
Yes, sir, it does.
Why is that?
Well, to begin with, I look at the connections that his father-in-law, Chakaku Tayyib, has to Brotherhood-linked groups. This includes being the president at one time of CARE Michigan, also his presence on the Islamic Society of North America Founders Committee, which is only for those most exclusively devoted to ISNA and provides a significant amount of funding. There are other known Brotherhood members on that committee. I would also look at El-Sayed's ties to a group called Mgage, which purports to be a Muslim sort of get out the vote or candidate recruitment organization, but it has close ties to CARE. It was created by a former CARE member who at one time was on a terror watch list and was also a consultant to convicted terrorist Sami al-Arian.
Do you believe the Islamic Society of North America, or ISNA, is an ongoing part of the Muslim Brotherhood network in the United States?
Yes, sir, I do. There were some HLF documents that reflected hesitation by the Brotherhood that they thought perhaps they were losing control.
You realize, I mean, this is a massive story. This is a massive story. Where are the news articles about this? Where's the coverage? I'm telling you, they're going to paint this guy just like they did with Obama. He's going to be the next savior. Of course, not just the Democrat Party, but of everyone else that has no idea how bad communism is, has no idea what even happened on September 11th. Because these people, most of these kids, they weren't even alive yet. They don't understand a pre 9/11 world. They don't understand 9/10. And again, they don't understand communism. They don't even understand because they weren't taught about it. Yeah, communism's never been tried. You say Russia, Spain, Cuba, North Korea, Cambodia, Vietnam. Do you need me to keep going on? That's a great meme. It's true. What are the talk to somebody that's lived it. Go to Marlena's Bistro in Holland. Sit down with Marlena. See what she has to say. She'd been through it. That's why she stood up during all the insanity a few years back. CNN, Fetterman. Wait a minute. Is he in the suit again? What's going on with Fetterman? In the suit again? Maybe he's trying to distance himself from that clown. I mentioned, Fetterman's got the hoodie. And now Abdul's got the he's got the Zelensky tee. I don't know what's going on with Fetterman. I like that he's making sense, and I like he put a tie on too. You know why? I'm gonna tell you. I think Fetterman cleans up good. I think he looks good when he dresses up. I really do. I think he looks sharp, and good for him. Now you can't see me. I'm basically in my robe right now. That could be if the camera wasn't working. I just walk down the hall in my robe and do this show. Hey, maybe I ought to try that from now on. Oh, sorry, folks. Got another camera malfunction. Got it. Just in my robe today. Here's Fetterman on CNN.
Seat. So you think he could lose to Mike Rogers?
Oh, 100% that's possible, without a doubt. I mean,
look at him. Doesn't he look good? I mean, as good as he can. It's just he's gonna look at similar. We try to just look as good as we can. Some of us look better than others, right? Yeah, but some of us have challenges, or some of us have our own, but limitations. But I think he looks great. Look at this guy. I like the suit.
And the polling seems to indicate that it is in danger.
So how should members of your party, the Democratic Party, come together to defeat the Republican candidate?
Yeah, well, I can't come together with someone if you are willing to embrace people that loves Hamas or that thinks America deserved 9/11. I think that's reasonable, and I think that's the reasonable view. Being able to kind of be like, well, maybe and try to ignore those things. That's not a big tent situation. There are things that are unacceptable to to have these views as a Democrat, I think. Hold that seat.
Look, this is to me, it's very obvious. I think to Americans, it's going to be obvious. It's going to be a bridge too far. In fact, Rogers was fighting 9/11, and Fetterman making the point. Abdul is like cheering it on. This is, you don't get any more clear than what we're dealing with. By the way, it may not be all sunshine, rainbows, and kittens and the rest of it for the socialists these days, the commies. Kami Mamdani, in fact, had a rough time of it yesterday. Kami Mamdani booed off the stage. Did you see this in New York City? Booed off the stage, trying to speak at an event for the NYPD. So guess who it is? It's the NYPD and their supporters apparently at this event. Didn't go well when he came on stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for some more dancing? Oh, no, we're not. We're getting awards. Somebody's getting an award. You want to see who's getting an award? Come on, guys, I want some energy here.
Wow, shame. This is the defund the police. So why is he at a police event anyway? Why is the defund the police politician, the commie mom? Why is he at a defund? Why is he at a defund why is he at an event supporting? What's going on, man? You think you're going to get a friendly crowd? They know exactly who you are, bro. They know exactly who you are. The mask is off. You didn't fool these people. Certainly haven't fooled us. You may have fooled a few. Of course, there are questions about that election. I don't want to be an election denier or anything, but there are questions coming up now being raised about that election in New York City. I think that's fascinating. Anyway, want to get to another update from the Midwesterner, the Midwesterner.news, and I have a few other things I want to make sure we get to as well. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Help us get the word out. We got tees, we got hoodies, we got mugs, we got all kinds of good stuff. Tumblr's inside the store at justinbarclay.com/store. And if you share, we'll pick you. You'll be a winner. And you can pick something cool out of the store. Coming up after this.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Thursday, August 6th. I'm Robin Kaufman. Republicans looking to get out the vote for Michigan's Mike Rogers to win the Senate seat as he runs against progressive candidate Abdul El-Sayed. Nationally, Democrat socialists think he can pull it off despite his narrow win over Congresswoman Haley Stevens. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani talking about the Michigan race.
Despite him facing more than $60 million in outside spending, he was able to prevail with a focus on a cost of living crisis.
And the picture may have done him in. Sleepy Phil Skaggs losing the Democratic primary for State Senate District 29, despite endorsements from Governor Whitmer, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, and Attorney General Dana Nessel. The embarrassing defeat following less than flattering pictures of him at the Capitol during budget negotiations back in July, when the Grand Rapids Democrat was photographed sleeping on his desk. For these stories and more, visit the Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
There you have it. I've got some. Let's see. Maybe I've got one or two other things. Yeah, I should probably share this with you right now. Folks wondering about the SAVE Act, and I know the president was talking about that yesterday as well. But here's another interesting moment. I believe this is on Banished to the War Room. John Solomon saying that there are a couple of Senate Republicans that are stonewalling Trump in the agenda. And, of course, what he said, they're Tom Cotton, John Thune, be surprised by that, blocking the DOJ from obtaining the Brennan transcripts, and Todd Blanche has failed to force their release. Oh, boy. From John Solomon.
I'm going to go back to being a reporter for a second. I do not know this information from anything I've gained in government. I can tell you with 100% certainty that Republicans are obstructing the investigation into weaponization. There are two Republicans I can name by name, Senator John Thune and Senator Tom Cotton. They have refused for months now. The first request came in late January, early February. They are refusing thus far to provide to Joe DeGenova, to the prosecutors in Florida, the Miami U.S. Attorney, to the Justice Department, the transcripts of John Brennan's interviews with the Senate Intelligence Committee. They have refused to do so. I'm going to call out a third name because I don't understand the Justice Department's behavior. When a body that's separate of the executive branch doesn't comply, every other time in American history, go back to Iran-Contra, go back to Watergate, the Justice Department subpoenas the Congress. For some reason, the acting Attorney General, who wants to be the permanent Attorney General, has not authorized a subpoena to the United States Senate to get those documents. Those documents will allow the prosecutors in Miami to decide whether the charges are warranted against John Brennan. The idea that Republican senators will not cooperate with the Republican administration is ridiculous politically, but it's illegal. It's obstruction. There ought to be a grand jury subpoena sitting in the Senate clerk's office, and there ought to be a court case yesterday compelling this because the Justice Department has been delayed by 8 months by 2 Republican senators who have the responsibility and the ability to deliver this. You want to get to the grand conspiracy case, you need the missing evidence, and the Senate possesses it. And as of this date, I can find no evidence they've turned it over, and there is no grand jury subpoena because the clerk of the Senate would have to report it publicly. I just checked the congressional record again today. So Todd Blanche, Tom Cotton, John Thune, you got some explaining to do to the War Room posse.
As we speak, some splaining to do. You know what else? Who has some splaining to do? And I'm all for this. Dr. Fauci, we did the breaking news, and I can't believe it. I completely missed this. It happened about almost an hour ago. A little less than that. Fauci's been held in contempt.
Seeing no other motions, the question is on reporting of an original resolution regarding contempt of Congress. The clerk will call the roll.
Senator Johnson.
Yes.
Senator Langford.
This is the vote happening
Senator
now.
Scott. Yes. Senator Hawley.
Aye.
Senator Moreno.
On behalf of the millions of people harmed by Anthony Fauci, resoundingly yes.
Senator Ernst. Aye. Senator Moody. Senator Peters.
No.
Senator Hassan.
Of course not, you worthless piece of you-know-what. Thank goodness you're on your way out. Do you understand this is the person that we're looking to replace in the Rogers versus El Sayed fight? That guy? You got a chance to put Rogers in that seat. Can you imagine? Yes. It'd be another yes. Look at what they do. They vote against the American people every chance they get. Absolute scum.
Senator Blumenthal. Senator Fetterman. Senator Kim.
Fetterman voted no. He's back in the hoodie. What happened? Is this evil Fetterman? What happened?
Senator Gallego.
No by proxy.
Senator Slotkin.
No by proxy.
Senator Paul.
Yes.
Slotkin's on there too. You got 2 Michigan senators, and they're both voting no. Absolutely worthless. 8-5 is the total.
Vote of those present, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5. On the vote by proxy, and for the record only, the yeas are 0, the nays are 2. On this vote, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5, and the motion is agreed to.
Mr. Chairman,
I
pursuant to
haven't
committee rule.
recognized you.
Mr. Chairman.
We've had ample remarks on this. The chair will limit remarks to 2 minutes. I will give you another chance.
Yeah, because of course we have to have more circus from Peters. Of course we need more circus from some of those chumps. Anyway, now this goes to the DOJ. I say lock him up. Kelly says nothing will happen. Well, we'll see. I don't know. We're in uncharted territory. I understand what you're saying. I get the frustration, but we'll see. We don't know. Same thing I see with people saying, this person's going to win this race or this person's going to lose that race or whatever. We'll see. You don't know. You don't have a crystal ball. We don't know. We don't know. You just, some of this, you just can't, you just can't see. You think we have an idea about how things are going to work. We just don't know. That comes to every single story we're dealing with. I get it. I understand, but the whole nothing will happen, folks. That's doomer, gloomer, black pill. Be careful. We got to worry. Got to warn about that because at the end of the day, that can become contagious, and then people just don't vote. Look at the vote. Look at the vote difference between Republicans and Democrats in the primaries. Look at the vote difference. The difference is massive. Why? Because Republicans aren't enthusiastic. They're not enthusiastic. They're not excited. Why? Because you're in the middle of being targeted. You are in the middle of being targeted. You are being demoralized right now. The entire country has for decades been in the middle of it, but particularly Republicans. You're targets of this. Conservatives. Why? Because look what you did in 2024. They don't want to let that slide, folks. They don't want to repeat that. They certainly don't want it in 28, and they want to see if they can kneecap Trump and the administration here in 2026. That's why you're in the middle of this. That's why you have the Tucker thing. By the way, they're out there trying to start their own party and maybe say, hey, maybe Tucker will run in 2028 for president. Give me a break. I used to really like Tucker. I love the guy. What happened? What happened to Tucker? At the end of the day, what happened to the guy? I mean, don't get me wrong, but, like a talk show host isn't necessarily the guy who should be president. If you want to all talk, I guess that's the guy. But, I would never say like, oh, I'm going to be the president of the United States. What have you done? What have you built? It's just absurd. The whole thing's absurd. And he's got no chance I'll tell you what he's got a chance at doing. This is the evil thing. They've got a chance at electing AOC or whoever the Democrats put up. Might as well be working with them. I'll be honest with you, I'm really getting frustrated with that whole crew who's like, well, we're tired of this. Look, folks, we got to work together. We got to work together through our own differences. If you don't act and you elect Abdul, or you don't act and you elect an AOC, or which worse, you say we're gonna run Tucker or who else? Tucker, it'll be Tucker, and then Joe Ken is the vice president. That's what the run, or Thomas Massey or something like that. The problem is we've become delusional. We become, especially any of us that have any sort of libertarian leanings, we become delusional because we buy our own press. We're in our own bubbles. We're getting the propaganda day in and day out, and we're getting the stuff that we believe in repeated to us on social media. It's an echo chamber. We're in our own echo chamber, so we're buying our own hype. That's what's the problem. Because every day you log on, you're seeing the same people saying the same thing. Yeah, you're right. That's right. Yeah. And then we get this delusion that somehow the rest of the country agrees with us. The rest of the country doesn't even know what a libertarian is. They have no idea what any of that means. They don't even know when it comes to like whether. Do you see how many Republicans voted for people who were not on, they were on the ballot, but they dropped out of the race? Like, come on, give me a break. I'm sorry. Is this too much truth? Somebody turn the truth up a little. Maybe it's because you can't see me today. Somebody turned the truth up a little bit too much in my mix today. Maybe that's the problem. The only thing they're going to accomplish is kind of maybe like I don't know. Maybe it's going to be like a. They had. We've been through this before. Well, we have examples of this. Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? You remember what I'm talking about? The guy, can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? And of course, I kind of liked him. I kind of liked it back in the day. I think I was like in middle school. When this sketch aired with, I'm looking to see if I can find it because it's one of the best. It was during the time they had George H.W. Bush. And by the way, this is what got Clinton elected. Let's see. Oh, I found it. This is, oh my gosh, this is classic. I don't know how much of this we're going to be able to get played because some of it might, how come I can't mute that? All right, let me see if this plays. Hopefully it'll stop. But this is SNL when they were actually funny. And it was Dana that's who it was, Dana Carvey. Dana Carvey in the Ross Perot skit. This is you. One of my point that I'm trying to make here is this would be Ross Perot on steroids. That's what I'm getting at. If you throw a Tucker, it's Ross Perot on steroids, folks. I don't remember even the point of this, but I was not old enough to vote. I think I was in middle school, but I actually volunteered and did some stuff with this Ross Perot camp because I loved it. I thought it was great. Can I finish? And then what did it do? It got Clinton elected. I mean, have we not been here before? Do we not learn from our lessons? I'm not saying that we can't support libertarian ideas, but the fact that we think that we're ever going to get any in this two-party system. Now, you can say I don't like the two-party system. That's a whole nother thing, right? But to ever think that we're ever going to get anything done in this two-party system, it's just crazy. It's just nutty. And what you're going to do is you're going to elect Democrats. And at a time when they're running some of the most extreme commie jihadi candidates of all time, it's like there's never been a more dangerous moment. I'll tell you what I'd rather do. What I'd rather do is listen to Senator John Kennedy tell you what he'd rather do. Might be the best way to end the show today.
I'm prepared to stay here as long as it would take. I've been to a squillion meetings to talk about this stuff that could have been an email. Yes. I'd rather have a back alley colonoscopy than go to another meeting. It is.
You know what? I'd rather have a back alley colonoscopy than elect any of these people. And of course, that's what you're going to do. Tucker and Joe Kent and Thomas Massey and Marjorie Trader Green, the rest of them. Come on, guys. What are you doing?
Colonoscopy. Then
back alley colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy.
Yes. I'd rather have one of them back alley jobs.
I'd rather have a back alley colonoscopy than go to another meeting. It is time to vote. We're not going to reach agreement. It's time to vote. That's why God made votes. That's where I am.
Yeah, I love it. And I agree, by the way. Oh, my goodness. Oh! I don't know, something fiery inside today. I don't know what it is exactly. I don't know exactly what is transpiring here, folks, but I'm glad you were oh, no! No. And I agree, man. It looks like Facebook nuked it. They nuked our live because I played a little bit of that Ross Perot thing. Darn it! Well, I apologize. If you're still here, we'll be back tomorrow with more. I promise you. Nancy is our winner today on the Sharing is Caring contest. Nancy Davidson. Inspired. Nancy Davidson, congrats, Nancy. Thank you so much for sharing today. If you're Nancy and you got a picture of you holding this fish in your profile, you're the winner. You're the winner. Hey, maybe I could show her on screen. Let's see if it'll work. Hang on. There you are, Nancy. Congrats. Thank you so much for all your support, folks. The people hitting us up, healthwithjustin.com. Maha Missy, 269-964-4044. Lots of folks having major breakthroughs in weight, but also in health, getting off medications. It is fantastic to see the people making those massive wins, making America healthy again. MyPillow.com/Justin, MyStore.com/Justin. Sipping on the My Coffee this morning, 50% off. 50% off since the Justin Store. They got a mega sale as well. Help support Mike Lindell when you go to MyPillow.com or MyStore.com/Justin and get it done. All right, that's it for today, folks. Folks joining me over on the Locals VIP Freedom Fam stream. You can do that right now. We'd love to have you inside with us at justinbarclay.com/locals. Remember, no show tomorrow. Back Monday. God bless.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. For thy is the kingdom, power, and glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Let's say China. 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 You go over to China. 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 You take China.